everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me.
Hey everybody, welcome back. We've got a new episode of State of the Pels, and we've got a special guest with us today. We've got Everett. Hey Everett, good to see you.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Hey, so we are so excited to have you a part of State of the Pels today. It's me and you, and we kind of haven't done any in a couple of weeks. So we've got a bunch of stuff to talk about, but let's start it off with some really good news, which is the Pelicans just went 2-1 in their little quick homestand that they have. And now the Pelicans are one game behind the Clippers for fourth place in the Western Conference, which is huge. Any step up that you can get, is awesome. So I want to throw it over to you right away and get your thoughts on how do you think the Pels are looking right now? How do you think they looked in the last three games to get them one game behind the Clippers now?
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you for having me on. It's an honor and a privilege to be here. But no, the Pelicans, we're looking good, man. I'm pretty excited. Over the last three games, I would say the the game against Cleveland, it was one of the games that it happens like that. It's kind of hard to win a basketball game when you are a negative 43, 48 points from the three-point line. And if you look at all the other categories, we were pretty even, but that three-pointer is what they like to call it, the great equalizer. But as we've seen all season, the Pelicans have had bounce back game after bounce back game when they've had a bad loss. And that's exactly what we did. They rose to the occasion with the Clippers, and we took care of business against, oh my God, who did we play just on Saturday?
Trailblazers.
The Trailblazers, which honestly could have been a trap game, and from the emotional high from Friday to going into Saturday, and they didn't disappoint. So I'm very happy where the Pelicans are right now.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think one really important thing to point out is that we did have those back-to-back games, Friday and Saturday, and everybody played except for Herb because he did get, hurt on his arm.
And Larry, because he had like an illness, I believe, right?
Right. But this wasn't like it's back to back. Okay, now three of the starters are sitting,
Right.
and like you said, it could have been a trap game. And if we would have sat a couple guys, I was a little concerned when Robinson Earl came in right in the first quarter. I was like, oh, do we think that we're just like going to easily win this? Because it was a close game, but I never felt like the Pelicans were like the momentum had shifted where the Pelicans weren't going to be able to get that. So it was really good to see that. And then in those last three games, you had Zion with 33 points against Cleveland and then 34 against the Clippers. So he's really putting up some big time, like we say, superstar numbers. And we've talked a good bit about how every team that goes deep into the playoffs, they've got to have that superstar guy that can get you 30 plus. Mm-hmm. So what are your thoughts on how Zion's playing right now at this point in the season?
Honestly, I think Zion's playing the best basketball of his career, and is not even particularly close. I feel like he scored more points before. He was 26, 5-5 before. Now I feel like even though his numbers technically are down, the fact of the matter is he's playing overall better basketball. He's defending at a rate that we've never seen him defend before. Mm-hmm. He's active, he's engaged, he's being a leader in all aspects of the game. So I feel like this is the best version of Zion that we've seen. And I don't even think he's at his peak yet. I feel like he still has a couple of levels to go up, which is scary for the rest of the league, if you ask me. But honestly, I always felt that though Zion, when he was at his apex before and he was really scoring all these points, and I feel like that's what led to injury. One thing because I read a lot about basketball and the mechanics of the human body and stuff like that. And one thing, when people are pushing their motor to 100%, it kind of, it's like they're redlining. You're revving an engine too hard. So, but him being at like 90% might be the version that we need of Zion to really take us to that next level.
Yeah, I mean, I would take 90% Zion over 0% Zion because he's hurt, I can't play, or he has to sit out. And 90% Zion is, if that's in fact where he's at right now, it's fun. And we're seeing him do things that maybe we haven't seen before from a passing standpoint. Mm-hmm. The amount of assists, especially that he's gotten in the second half. I mean, he's been a leading, if not, he's been up there every single game. I mean, you see him frequently with 8, 9, passes for assists. Now against Cleveland, he didn't have as many, but that was because we couldn't knock down a 3-point shot to save our life. But I agree with you. I think he's doing things that he hasn't done so far in his career that are very important to the mix and what's happening right now. And I want to get your thoughts on, because we've talked a good bit this year about point Zion, and I used to be against it. I'm like, no, we need a traditional point guard, and that's what I like, and that's the kind of basketball. But now I've really seen, and I think it's brilliant in that when Zion has the ball, that is when he's at his best. And if he just goes down to the block and he's waiting on a pass to come, he's typically just standing around. And now he's so involved, and I think that's where a lot of the assists are coming from. So what are you seeing from the point Zion standpoint? What do you think about it?
Absolutely. I love it. We go way back to the Stan Van Gundy time, and when JJ Redick was on the team, and they used to have that 2-man game of, hey, Zion, JJ's going to screen for Zion, and literally it's pick your poison. They have the defense don't know what to do. Do you follow Zion when he's driving, or do you stay with JJ? And that's a lot of what we kind of see with him and Trey right now. They have a great 2-man game going on, and Zion's passing, his ability to see the court is a very underrated skill of his. He can pass with either hand, which I've seen him. He threw a lob the other day to Trey Murphy. I was like, wait, Zion throwing lobs? Oh, it's over for them. But from point Zion, the one thing I will say, and he's so smart when it comes to knowing when to attack and knowing when to pass the ball. And he's passing it to everybody. And that's something that I really appreciate about Zion, that how unselfish he is overall as a basketball player. You can't beat that.
Yeah, and I've said too, when you've got a star player who is rather than them taking the shot, they are passing the ball to you because they believe so much in you getting the shot off and making it. That is a confidence builder right there. So I think Herb hitting those threes in the corner, I think he has gained confidence. Of course, he worked tremendously on his game, but you're getting confidence from Zion believing that you can knock down a shot rather than him in that moment. That's a key, I think, in our team right now.
I agree. And it's something I've really noticed. And a lot of people from the outside are talking about, oh, well, Zion's numbers are down. Well, that's because he's trusting his teammates more. The team around him is better. He's allowing his teammates to continue to stay into a rhythm. I've seen it on TNT where Charles Barkley was like, hey, superstars, when they're playing with better players, their numbers should go down because that means they're trusting their teammates. And that's something that Brandon, CJ, and Zion, all three have done. They have allowed the entire team to contribute, which takes the burden off of them, which takes the burden off of the rest of the team and the coaching staff, because it allows everybody to contribute to winning and keeps people in rhythm. So overall, I think it makes us a much better team playing basketball that way.
Yeah, for sure. And earlier you brought up Trey Murphy, and so I want to talk about him a good bit because people on Twitter and all over were just, calling for his head practically. He's lost it. Like, he's washed up. The injury messed him up. And I kept saying, shoot or shoot, just let him keep shooting and he's going to find it. And man, he's back. He's back. There's no doubt about it. I mean, he's pulling 30-footers. He's not even hesitating on these shots. So what are you seeing from Trey on the court now, even though he's not a starter right now, but what are you seeing from him from a confidence standpoint?
So I'm absolutely loving what I've seen from Trey Murphy. Trey Murphy, a lot of people tend to forget that when you tear something, it's a huge mental hurdle. A lot of times I always tell people, hey, if you get a chance to tear something, don't, because it's terrible. I've torn my ACL in my knee, my MCL. It is not fun at all. And the body actually heals a lot faster than the mental hurdle. It takes time to get over that mentally because I don't know. It just you remember that pain. You remember what it's like. And so everything that we've seen from him before was that he can do it because he's a shooter. He's been doing this his whole life. But it took him a little time because this was his first major injury that he's ever had in his life, he said. And so it just took him a little time to get over that mental. And I'm loving he when he is shooting the ball the way he's shooting it, we are a dangerous team. I seen a stat the other day that said when Trey Murphy makes 4+ threes, we're like 19-1 or something like that.
Right.
It's pretty insane. So now that he's back to himself, hey, the sky's the limit.
Yeah. And I'm really interested how far we're able to go. I mean, fingers crossed we're not going to be in the play-in game, so we're going to get a legit spot. And if we get home court, I mean, what do you think the blender is going to be like in there for a whole
I
playoff
can only
series?
imagine, right? I remember when we was in the playoffs 2 years ago with the Phoenix Suns, and the blender was rocking.
Yes.
Let alone how it's going to be now that we have probably the best jerseys in all the NBA.
Mhm.
Our City Edition, they're amazing. I absolutely love them. But I think we have a chance, especially after last night with the Clippers losing to the Hawks. Oh my God, who's seen that coming?
I know.
Well, we have a tough stretch. We are the best team on the road in the Western Conference.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't realize that there's nobody else better than us on the road. So us going on the road for this 4-game road trip, we have to go a minimum of 3-1. Minimum. I do believe we can do that, and we're gonna get our get back on Miami because they think we forgot. No, we ain't forget. We're ready for them.
We don't ever forget here in New Orleans.
We're too petty to forget. We're too petty. But no, I think it's gonna be good. Our homestand is gonna be. We have to do a better job of being at home, and I believe we are. We're gonna put on the show for the blender.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting, and it's also going to be hopefully a great reminder to some of these haters that the Pelicans have, like keyboard warriors out there just hating on the Pels. Like, what is missing, like, for them? I mean, the Pels have everything. They're entertaining. They're a great team. They're fun to watch. They have embraced New Orleans. I mean, what do some of these people want?
You know what I can honestly say about this is PTSD is real. The Pelicans fans, New Orleans sports, Louisiana sports fans, we have a lot of times where we've gotten our hopes up and then something completely dramatic happened. If it's not from the Saints with the no call 2 years in a row to the Minnesota Miracle to Beastquake. Oh my God, I get reminded of that all the time living out here in Seattle. To just one thing after another, that we are scarred and traumatized from all the things that just as soon as we think things are going to go good, the other shoe drops. And I think that's a lot of it, what it has to do with the Pelicans, that they are just waiting on the other shoe to drop. But it ain't going to drop this time. We're going to be all right. I believe this version of the Pelicans is probably top 2 teams in the history of our organization.
I agree.
In my opinion.
Yeah. And I think that's fair. I mean, we are always kind of waiting for, the refs to ruin something, or injuries, or, there's just so much. And so I think that there are people out there that are just like, hey, I'm just already going to accept defeat because I don't want to have to go through that hurt again.
They don't want their heart broken again.
Right. And I get it, but you got to enjoy the ride when it's this good, instead you're not even enjoying this.
And that's what I said before. I said, honestly, for me, people say, well, Everett, you're so positive all the time about the Pelicans. I wish I could have that optimistic look. I said, honestly, it's not that I'm really optimistic. It's the fact that I'm living in the moment. You know what I mean? It's the fact that I don't know if this is sustainable over some future years, or this is what we got right now. So if this is what we got right now, I'm going to enjoy it while it's here, instead of saying, well, there's a dead end over there. Well, you know what? Hey, the sun is shining over here right now. So I'm not going to worry about tomorrow until that happens for me, because if I'm constantly worried about tomorrow, then I can't enjoy what I'm seeing today. And I really want to enjoy this moment with the Pelicans and how amazing they've come along over the last 3 years since Willie Green and Trey Murphy and Herb Jones and Jose got to this organization. They've really turned the face of our entire franchise around, and I want to soak it all in. Pause. I want to enjoy this moment more than anything, because I don't know if it's going to be here forever.
Right. I got to say, you and I are so similar. It's kind of crazy because I feel exactly like that. Like, I'm enjoying every time all 5 starters are healthy and out there. And
Facts.
because the last couple years, it's been painful. You just sitting on the bench. They're sitting on the bench, hurt, and you're just like, what would be happening if you were playing right now? And we're actually seeing it. We're seeing this whole team play together. So I mean, we could call ourselves the positive Pelicans fans because we are. Just enjoy it. You might as well enjoy while you can. If we lose in the playoffs in the first round, whatever happens, then it happens. But I'm going to enjoy these 84 games right now and enjoy seeing people play together, things clicking, seeing guys grow, improve, get stronger, better, knock down more shots. I mean, that's the fun part. I mean, yeah, the playoffs are fun, but you got 84 games, so enjoy it the best.
Absolutely. And people always talk about how New Orleans is not a basketball city, but we are living proof that it is. You know, it's an opportunity for us to see our team really go out there and put on the show for us, because it's a beautiful thing to watch. I'll just put it like that. Because Zion he's balling, and Brandon Ingram. Oh my God! Can we talk about Brandon Ingram for a second, about how his acceptance of the role that he's taken on lately has been a beautiful thing to watch. He's been playing defense at an extreme level, and even though his shots aren't where they used to be, but he's still contributing in a multitude of different ways. And him and CJ both, and I like to think of the Pelicans as a complete team. A lot of people don't, but everybody is entitled to their opinion. But I really think we are not so much superstar heavy. We are a complete team where everybody contributes.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what's going to happen in these next few weeks and even this week. I mean, every weekend I plan out my whole week in my schedule, and I mark down when the Pelicans play. So I'm ready. I'm excited. It's going to be fun. You got it. Like you said, enjoy each game. You can't just wait for the playoffs at the end and hope for the best.
Agreed.
So all right, well, we'll wrap it up here. We usually do like a final closing thought. So I'll let you go first. Anything that you want to add? It can be Pelicans or personal, anything related.
Well, I'm excited to see how we handle this next 5-6 game homestand that we have after this road trip. You know, we have some tough competition. We went through that gauntlet at the end of January versus Oklahoma City, Milwaukee Bucks, and Boston, all on the road. Well, we have the exact same thing here in the blender. So I'm excited to see how we've grown since that time. I believe they're going to be facing my team. Fingers crossed. Boston is like 100 games up on the second place team. It's the end of March, beginning of April. So they're just like, you know what? We're just going to chill out a little bit and get ready for the playoffs. So let's go ahead and take a game off. So we'll go there. And I truly believe that the Pelicans will make it to the second round at an absolute minimum. And if we can make it to the second round, we can make it to the Western Conference Finals. You know, go Pels.
That'd be awesome. I'd love to see it. So I'm going to add in a little variety to that and say I'm so excited. March Madness is here. We've got the first 4 coming up, and I don't know if you know, Everett, I played basketball in college, never made it to March Madness tournament. So, but this is just the most fun time. It's literally just basketball all day. So I'm really excited to see what happens there. And we've got some of our local teams. We got, of course, LSU women are in there. It's 3 seed. And then we've got McNeese and Grambling on the men's side. So even LSU is in the NIT. So who knows what could happen, but it'll be fun to watch. So, well, thanks for joining today. I'm looking forward to doing more of these with you. And yeah, like you said, go Pels, and I hope everybody has a good rest of the week.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.